It says it's live. Hello, meditation nerds. I don't trust when it says it's live that it's actually live. Waiting for the reset. There it goes. Okay, so I have a real problem with silence, apparently. Interesting for somebody who meditates. All right, so welcome to Life Raft Wednesday. I don't know how long I'm going to continue doing this. I just wanted to make sure that I was adding in some levity amidst all the unmitigated chaos, we could say. So today I want to approach our practice from a new lens or lenses, if that's a word. Well, it is now. So we're going to use a few different perspectives today to explore the wild inner world of ours. Now, of course, we're going to begin where we normally do by checking in on our amazing bodies. All right, so I don't know about your body, but my body has a lot to say. It's like there was an entire audience of frustrations, discontent, outrages that just rose up and said, "Yeah, I've got some words." All right, so let's be curious about this. I want you to approach this more like a scientist and from a place of curiosity. So maybe you need to approach it more like a child would anything, right? They're very curious. Well, most children, I should say, not all children, but most children are very curious about the world around them. Um, we're just going to document what we're honing in on, where we're noticing the areas of discontent within our body and just how it's showing up, right? Notice if it's tingly, if it's numb, it's hot, it's cold, there's a whole array of things that I'm not even going to have a reference for. So please feel free to drop those in the comments. If you feel like I skip it all the time, it's probably because I'm unaware of it. So help me continue to broaden out and let me know your experiences as well. So we're going to start, and I'm going to be doing, yes, I did just say chart. Okay, I'm going to be jumping to some main highlights. So it's going to be a little bit of a different body scan. Now, if the areas that I name are not areas in your body that are like, me, I want to talk, listen to what I have to say, then listen to your body first and foremost. Your body is the ultimate guide, and that's where you need to be listening. I'm just giving highlights. I'm merely a guide, a disarrayed, discombobulated guide right alongside you, offering the tools that are helping me put my discombobulated bits back together. So I'm going to start with my shoulders. The loyal pack mules, right? So if your shoulders as well are struggling, just notice what they're carrying right now. Maybe it's the weight of that early morning meeting or mid-afternoon meeting or just meetings in general. Maybe it's a piece of the entire global political situation and the shambles that it seems to be disintegrating into. Maybe it's just a vague sense of dread about what to make for dinner, or if you can even make dinner at all. Just acknowledge the load. We're not unpacking yet. This isn't a deep dive into those yet. We're just noticing what's there. Okay, we're going to drip down to the hands because I never give a highlight to my hands ever. And just notice the subtle energy here. Maybe it's a faint, almost imperceptible muscle memory, the ghost of an urge to scroll, right? Your thumb starts to move. It's ready to continue refreshing that page and keep scrolling. This isn't good or bad. It's not indifferent. It's just the modern resting state, right? Instead of it being resting on our faces, it's now resting in our hands. So just notice what's going on in yours. Okay, my hands feel better just being acknowledged for once. And speaking of that, I'm going to drop down to my feet because I never acknowledge my feet either. Notice how they feel. The subtle energy running through your feet. I mean, they are the very tool that we use to move. They carry the entire weight of everything else. What's going on in them? Are they tired of the smell of your shoes? Are they outraged at yet more socks to be worn? They don't want to be in flip-flops anymore. It's just notice what's happening in your feet as well. We're just giving a note, a little bit of an awareness. Want to do a basic body scan here. And finally, we're gonna check in on the stomach, the great communicator. And just as a fun little side note, I believe I have read some science to back me up on this, that our stomach is actually the first brain because we can't do anything without the nutrients that our stomach and our intestines absorb for everything else to thrive. So I just wanted to put that out there as an aside and a shout out to the stomach that I feel doesn't get the proper respect it deserves. And seems like my stomach has something to say. There's a little bit of a burbling, kind of that hint at a rumble before it announces how hungry it is. Maybe yours is rumbling with dissent, perhaps as well. Maybe yours is a full-throated proclamation that it is, in fact, time to eat, and you've neglected that. Just listen to the wisdom going on in your stomach right now. Just take a little time to check in on that incredible body of yours. And of course, if you needed to shift to any other area that was asking for your attention and it was not one that I named, always listen to that first. I would just like to reframe this. All of these things that are happening, however they're showing up, the burbles, maybe it's a snap, crackle, pop of joints. Maybe it's the numbness in feet and hands, it's twitching, it's the weight of the world on your shoulders. This symphony of tension, memory, and gurgles, this is our baseline. This is the raw material that we're working with today. It's an awareness of what we're actually walking around with that we're largely not noticing. So I just want to point out that this raw material does get stuck. I'm sure a lot of you already know this, you're already familiar with this. It does bear repeating because it is easy to forget, right? That this gets stuck. It crystallizes into thoughts that loop, that drive us bonkers, and feelings that weigh us down. As my shoulders, perpetually feeling pressed down, currently are expressing to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to shake. We're going to give our body a chance to literally shimmy loose what we don't need. Let's call it a system reboot. So I want you to start with your hands. Just go give a little bit of a shake at the wrists. Let your fingers kind of wiggle out. You can wiggle your toes. Give your ankles a little bit of a wiggle. Wiggle your calves. And then I want you to shake your arms, your forearms. Extend your arms out. Give your biceps a bit of a jiggle. Shake your chest, round your shoulders, and it doesn't have to be aggressive. And as we're doing this, I want you to think of a single looping thought you've had recently. Okay, so as you pull up that thought, I want you to watch the timeline as you continue to shake. And of course, always listen to your body. If you need to do a more gentle shake, please do a more gentle shake. If you need something that's a little bit more assertive and you can use the visualization of bring your fists together and act like you're pounding a door, trying to break through those barriers, if that helps you shake it off a little bit better. But this is all within the parameters of what is healthy for you, where you're at. Okay, so don't shake harder than you're okay with. And if your body says with the sharp pain, knock it off, then please honor that, knock it off. Coming back to that thought that's looping, maybe yours is I really should organize my sock drawer. And the mind latches on. Why haven't I? What does it say about me? Is this the root of all my problems? My unorganized sock drawer? So just keep that thought, let it go, watch the timeline as you shake. And as you're doing that, just notice how your body responds to it. Yes, as you're shaking, and you can probably hear my chair squeaking because I am in fact shaking with you, even though it just looks like my avatar is waving. And then I want you to recognize as you're bringing awareness to the thought, the loop, the timeline, and noticing where it shows up in your body, really bring the awareness to the fact that that thought went from a thought to a tightness in the chest. It went to the weight of 1,000 mismatched socks, condensing into a knot in your stomach, or the rigidity of your spine, or maybe it was a cramp in your leg. But it's really just acknowledging that that thought really did become physical. And this is where shaking helps us let that go, right? It gives us an opportunity. Yes, we're still shaking. Shake your chest, round your shoulders. You can do a head roll gently, please. Don't go crazy with the head rolls. Bring your arms up. Shake, shake, shake. We're not fighting the sock thought. We're shaking the energy it brought with it. Okay, we're shaking the tension, shaking it out of the hands, the calves, the toes, the fingers, the shoulders, the head, the spine. And you can even stand up, shake your bum, let your bum have a little bit of a shake too. I mean, we do sit on it all the time. It seems only fair. I'm gonna go ahead. It seems only fair. Yep. Give a little bit of a shake to the bum, your back, shake your legs, let your calves and your thighs get a little bit of a shake. Let the socks fly. We are evicting the drama, not the thought, right? Because thoughts are going to thought. There's just no way around it. Shake it out into the air, let it dissolve. Let it go, unclench. Let the shaking free us. There it goes. Woohoo! Shoulders feel a little bit lighter. Maybe it's your calves, maybe it's your fingers. Maybe it's your eyes. I don't know how you shake your eyes. Maybe give a little bit of a shake of the head. Don't like that. Perfectly good thought. Return to the universe. Sockless and free. Okay. Now you can feel free to continue light shaking through this if you would like. I just wanted to do a little bit of an easing here. Nothing super crazy. I've got quite a few intense ones coming up. So I just wanted to give us a little bit of a reprieve, a little bit of a breathe. This is not to ignore the reality of the world, your individual one, your community one, and then the global one. That's not what we're doing here. This is just a moment to come back to yourself and to acknowledge that you do need humor, you do need levity, you do need release in order to continue moving forward. Now, my sense of humor may not be your brand. That's perfectly fine. We all do need to come back and allow ourselves release and calm and centeredness in order to continue going through our day to day. So, with that in mind, I started thinking about different ways that I could share the comedic side of meditation because I don't think anything that takes itself seriously or too seriously is necessarily going to go anywhere good. I think humor is a vital ingredient. Yes, a time and a place. I'm not saying be humorous when something horrific happens. That's not what I mean here. So I started thinking about the different ways that I could express this. I looked at memes, I looked at the Reddit stories, which I've shared before, and that didn't really feel right. So I started kind of going through a few different ideas. That is where I light upon the stories that we're going to transition to now. So these are meant to be as like meta lenses. We haven't really got into that. That's another one that I have planned for next week. The point being here that it's from the individual level, the community level to the global level, right? And my avatar's frozen. Excellent. So I want this to be a lighter space. Okay, this is meant to be an illumination of a different perspective, including meditation. I just want to leave a different way of viewing and connecting to your entire meditation practice. So let's take a look at the observer. So the system's internal monologue, the system being the meditation. Okay, so the meditation itself. is the point of view that we're going to talk about here. Now, like I said, you can continue to shake if you'd like to. You can have your eyes closed and just listen, or have them relaxed as you just listen. This is just meant to be a story, okay? It's just a fun little story. It's not meant to do anything other than lighten the mood and give you a different take on your meditative practice. Okay. She's settling in. Posture is a bit rigid, but we'll allow it. And we're focusing on the breath. Beautiful. In and not about to work emo. That's fine. We just notice it. We let it. Nope, she's not letting it go. She's now drafting the reply in her head with perfect punctuation. Okay. Let's send a gentle reminder, awareness of the breath. Maybe she'll, nope. Now she's judging herself for drafting the email. I'm such a bad meditator. Honey, no. We don't do double billing. The thought was the first distraction. Judging yourself for the thought is the second. You're just piling on. There, aside. The shoulders drop for one glorious second. She's just here. She's present. And now she's having a thought about how present she is. We're back to the loving place. We'll take it. Okay. Now this story is the debrief. Okay, so I want you to envision this as a post-analysis. This is a conversation between compassion and the practice itself, okay? The practice. You will not believe the session I just had with Steve. Compassion, oh dear. The one who's trying to transcend his road rage, the practice, the very same. He spent 20 minutes mentally composing a strongly worded letter to the city about potholes. When I gently nudged him back to his breath, he decided to mindfully deconstruct the concept of asphalt. Compassion. He's trying so hard. The practice. I know. And that's the thing. He's so close. He's doing all the steps, but he's using them as a shield. He's trying to think his way out of thinking. I just want to whisper, Steve, the pothole is not the problem. The white-knuckled grip on the steering wheel is the problem. Just feel the anger, Steve. It won't kill you. It's just an emotion. But no, we're now exploring the spiritual significance of asphalt. Back to the loving place, I suppose. Okay. And then this one, just yet again, another perspective, is the direct address. This is the system, this is our meditation practice speaking directly to us. Hello, my dear, it's me, your awareness. Can we have a quick word? I love your dedication. I really do. The fancy cushion, the determination, it's moving. It's very, very moving. We need to talk about this forcing thing. You read that. You read that. Can't even read my own notes. I am non-judgmental awareness. So when a judgment arises, you panic. You try to smother it with a pillow of loving kindness. You're not smothering the judgment, my love. You're just adding struggle to judgment. The recipe now, 1 part judgment, 2 parts struggle. You're trying to use me as a remote control to change the channel on reality. But I'm not a remote. I'm the television. I'm the screen. Or the streaming service. And the electricity. My job is to display what's going on, not decide the programming. So the next time you feel that rage, could we just try something? Could we just let me be the rage for a moment? Not the story, just the hot, tight, buzzing energy. Don't send love. Just let it be on the screen. I can handle it, I promise. You're trying to let it be perfectly, aren't you? Back to the loving place. We'll try again tomorrow. this may seem incongruous to meditation. This may seem completely bonkers. Why would someone create these stories about meditation? Well, I wanted to add something new. And one of my favorite things is to check different perspectives, such as the wolf's perspective in the Three Little Pigs, the witch's story in the Wizard of Oz, that type of thing. So I wanted to create different points of reference, and I wanted to give us a moment to step outside of ourselves because it's easy to take ourselves seriously. And I thought three different stories from different reference points would be just a blessed breath of fresh air to just take a moment to see that our meditative practice is organic. It is as alive as you are, and it has to be. Otherwise, it's just rigid dogma. And my question there would be, if you prefer rigid dogma, ask what you're getting out of it, and then ask if there are areas that you feel could grow. Because every part of your meditation should be organic. It should be allowed to grow and adapt and change to how you're growing, adapting, and changing. It should not be static. I also wanted to create this for a different way to show you that you're seen, that you're known, that you're loved. And it's not in spite of the fumbling and the forced loving kindness and the constant reminders we have of I am grateful for, or I accept what's happening now as you're slowly unraveling inside. Panic is rising up, or anger, or rage, or sadness. It's it's including all of these things, all of these metaphysical potholes, all of the questions, all of the feelings of disjointedness. That's part of the practice. And I feel like I represent that pretty well. I chunk it in a lot of these different lives, in a lot of the videos. So that's to be included within the practice. That is perfectly wonderful and should be a part of your practice. It's not about getting it right. It's about showing up however you can. One of the stories that still keeps coming back to me, it's a really simple story. This was when I first started meditating. Oh my God, almost 11 years ago now. This woman had showed up for a Kundalini yoga class, and it was 4 in the morning, because that's typically when we are taught that is the best time to meditate. We can have a whole other conversation about that, which I think would be fun. So she gets there at 4 in the morning, and she is just zoning out. She's lost in thoughts, and she just starts to cry because she's very upset. She feels she's failing. She feels she's not doing it right. And the teacher looked at her and said, "You're up before the sun. You've already won." So it's just, I wanted to offer a reminder to you that the way that you're meditating is exactly the way you need to be meditating. Your epiphany, your awareness will come when you're ready for it. That shift into a different way of being will come when you unclench, when you're able to shake through, right? When you're able to acknowledge that where you are is where you're needed. Now, that is not to dismiss anyone's experience. This is not a green light for injustice. This is not a green light for shutting our eyes to the horrific things that are happening in the world. That's not what I'm saying here. That's not what I'm advocating. I wanted this to be a sincere life raft for this moment of, we're going to put it very mildly, chaos in the world. And to acknowledge that, again, we have to come back to ourselves to release what we're holding currently, instead of waiting for it to become so weighted that we can't move anymore and we just break down, however that shows up, because that doesn't help either. So I wanted to bring in some levity. I wanted to bring in some different stories that that show our practice from a different light, a way that, again, maybe you've never thought of. Maybe, it's never occurred to you to think of awareness as a friend talking to you, or the practice itself guiding you on how best it wants to express itself through you, right? Because that's not really a common conversation that I've noticed or that I've been a part of. So just in case you've had a similar experience, I wanted to bring something new and hopefully made you think, what? Huh, okay. Well, at least it's a new point of view. Gave you pause, right? That's perfect. That's where the meditation begins, is in that little bit of pause of what? And then there's something else that I wanted to bring up just to close us out here. I meant to put this in earlier, but it didn't feel right, so I'm coming back to another part of my notes. Um, I do want to acknowledge that I am aware that I have gaps in awareness, in my single human experience, my privilege. There are gaps that I am aware of. Now, that being said, I don't know what's in the gap. So I am open to hearing your feedback on that. And if you're willing, of course, share it in the comments. Where does your here we go again feeling live in your body? What's your version of the Sockshore thought? And any other gaps that you feel would be beneficial, that you would love to see a meditation talk about or address or help with. Because that's the point of Meditation Nerd, is I want it to be a broader conversation about meditation. And that's not just the same topics. Not that we all don't need help with anxiety, that's helpful, or depression, that's helpful. All of the topics that we talk about regarding meditation and the ways that it can help, they are helpful. It's just I want to broaden it to make sure that the people that need it are getting it. And again, just I am aware of the gaps. I am aware that my awareness is a very small circle. So if you're willing to help me broaden that circle and you want to call out anything that you would like to see added or addressed or spoken to, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I'm happy to do a live about it, or craft something that will encompass it a little bit more fully, because I do want this to be, like I said, a broader conversation with more beautiful range of our human experience within the conversations, not just, my familiarity. I want it to be the amazing tapestry that I'm hoping we build together as a community. That's part of my goal. So I hope you found these stories at least humorous, or at least got you to stop and go, wait, what? What is she talking about? And I hope that this perspective will carry you forward in a new way to reflect. And thank you so much for joining me. Again, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you at least got a little bit of a laugh out of it. And I will see you next time.